Hi, this is Tac-an, and the topic we have chosen for this project is about emotions. Throughout the video, we will be discussing to you some important theories pertaining to emotions and find out what are the different types of emotions that humans have. As some of you may have realized, emotions exert an incredibly powerful force in human behavior. They construct a big part of who we are as a person. There are questions like, why do we have these emotions? What causes us to feel these feelings? These questions urge the researchers, psychologists, philosophers to propose different theories to understand and explain the how and why behind human emotions. These theories of emotion can be categorized in terms of context within which the explanation is developed. These standard contexts are evolutionary, social, and internal. So starting with the evolutionary theory, this approach attempts to provide a historical analysis of the emotions. It is usually with a special interest in explaining why humans today have the emotions that they do. The attractiveness of this approach is easy to see actually, since all humans have emotions and non-human animals display emotion-like responses. For example, if you encounter hissing, clawing, or spitting animals, chances are you will quickly recognize that this animal is frightened, defensive, or angry. And by being able to recognize and interpret these emotion-like responses, it increases your chances of survival by leaving it alone. The next is social theories. The main idea of this approach begins with the idea that emotions are social constructions, which explains that emotions are the products of societies and cultures and are acquired by individuals through experiences. According to Brian Parkinson in 1996, emotions typically occur in social settings and during interpersonal transactions. Many, if not most, emotions are caused by other people and social relationships. Thus, in many ways, emotions may be best understood as interactions between people rather than simply as an individual's response to a stimuli. This approach also suggested that emotions and their expressions are regulated by social norms, values, and expectations. These norms and values influence what the appropriate objects of emotions are, such as what events should make a person angry, happy, jealous, and so on. And they also influence how the emotions should be expressed. Moving on to the third approach, which is the internal theory. This approach attempts to provide a description of the emotion itself, and generally speaking, the emotion process begins with the perception of a stimulus. One of many theories that uses this approach is the cognitive appraisal theory. According to this theory, the sequence of events first involves a stimulus followed by thought, which then leads to the simultaneous experience of physiological response and the emotion. In these cases, your brain goes through a two-step process of evaluation in order to figure out what's happened and how you should react. The first step is referred to as primary appraisal, which is the evaluation of how the event or interaction will affect you personally. For example, if you hear that 10 people are going to be laid off at your company, your first thought will be to assess how that could affect you. The conclusions drawn from the primary appraisal will determine the next step in the process, the secondary appraisal, in which you evaluate the factors and decide how you're going to respond. If you hear the news about the layoffs and you feel confident that you're going to be one of them, that's the primary appraisal. You'll likely shrug it off and keep working as though nothing had happened, and that's the secondary appraisal. Cognitive appraisals are a normal part of human emotional functioning, and we will all use them over the course of our lives. Have you ever looked, ate, smelled, and or felt something that makes you contort your face into wrinkling your nose and the downturning of your mouth, and as if there's something churning in your stomach that makes you vomit what you've eaten? Well, it is actually some of the body's physiological response to disgust. Disgust is often an appropriate reaction to a stimulus that we should best avoid. It is often contextual and subjective, but places limits on our behavior and what we will engage with. A feeling of disgust towards bugs, for example, will prevent a person from enjoying gardening. A feeling of disgust towards germs may cause an individual to avoid physical contact with others. Can feel disgusted by something we perceive with our physical senses, like touch, smell, sound, and taste, by the actions and the appearances of people, and even by ideas. Another type of emotion is anger. Anger is an emotional response that we have to an external or internal event perceived as a threat, a violation, or an injustice. The experience of anger is learned and varies from person to person. For example, someone may cry when they feel angry, while someone may yell, while still someone else may become withdrawn, to name just a few ways in which anger manifests. Anger is a normal emotion that we all feel, and for most people, they can find ways to express it in a healthy way. However, some people need treatment. The most common way to treat excessive anger is with therapy. Surprise is one of the 6 types of emotions. Surprise is the sense of astonishment, wonder, or amazement that is caused by something sudden or unexpected. The experience of surprise varies within the importance of the outcome, as well as beliefs about the outcome. Surprise facilitates curiosity and learning, and it also affects beliefs about other events. With a person takes an unexpected stance that violates his or her self-interest, the person's arguments are surprising and quite often more persuasive. Surprise is another type of emotion. It is the sense of astonishment, wonder, or amazement that is caused by something sudden or unexpected. The experience of surprise varies with the importance of the outcome, as well as beliefs about the outcome. Surprise facilitates curiosity and learning. It also affects beliefs about other events. When a person takes an unexpected stance that violates his or her self-interest, the person's arguments are surprising and quite more often more persuasive. The common surprise triggers involve loud sounds like balloon popping or car backfiring, and unexpected movements like someone sneaking up on you, throwing a ball on you without warning.
So for today, we will talk about emotions. Emotions is a mind and body integrated response to a stimulus of some kind, ideas. Emotions also involve physiological arousal, expressive behaviors, and conscious experiences. Sometimes emotions can be confusing. There are 3 major theories of emotions: physiological theories, neurological theories, and cognitive theories. Types of emotions: happiness, sadness, and fear. Happiness is a result of overall emotional state. Sadness, defined as transient emotional state characterized by feelings, disappointment, grief, hopelessness. Fear is a natural, powerful, and primitive human emotions. Fear alerts us to the presence of danger or the threat of harm, whether that danger is physical or psychological. So that's all for our topic about emotions.